Welcome to another episode of Make Mental Health Matter. I am your host, Kelli Melissa Reinhart, and I am so excited for the show today. If this happens to be your first time watching and you're watching it on YouTube, make sure you mash down that subscribe button. If you're watching it on any of the streaming platforms, make sure you add us into your favorites, your watch list, your watch later list, whatever it happens to be, so that you don't miss another episode. And usually on Mondays, I bring on guests who are either advocates of mental health, those that have lived experience, or professionals in the space. And then I also go live on Wednesdays for Warrior Wednesdays, people really sharing their story about whatever they've been through in life and really into the place of hope. Today, I do have some mental health advocates, but also brilliant women who I will be sharing the stage this coming Sunday, November 5th, on the TEDxCherry Creek Women stage. And I get to have some of them here today with me on the show, just sharing a little bit of information as to why they want to be on the TEDx stage. And I don't know, we'll see where the conversation goes. So today I have 3 brilliant women, and then I'll have more even on Wednesday too. So make sure you don't miss that show. But without further ado, I am going to bring up all of them now. Thank you, Mary, Michelle, and Lisa, for joining me today. I so appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yay.
Thank you, my friend.
Yay. Of course. Can you hear me better now, Mary? I hope so. No? All right. Well, we'll just talk really loud and hope. I know Mary's having a little bit of technical challenges, but that's okay. Hopefully she can hear most of what we're saying. So I will actually start. I'm going to start with Lisa. Do you want to share a little bit about yourself, your story, and kind of why you wanted to be on the TEDx stage?
Sure. My name's Lisa Smith. I am the founder of a business called Reclaim and Recover, which is a comprehensive support for families who love someone struggling with substance use and mental health disorders. And I like to say that I became who I needed when my son was struggling with substance use disorder, and I could not find the help that was that kind of sat with my heart and also was effective in supporting our family or him. So that's now I have a whole business around helping families navigate and become a part of the process of recovery.
Amazing. And I remember the first time, so we all get to be together and do training. And the first time I heard your story, I was like, oh my gosh, like we had to connect. And I think that's with all the women this year. It's been one of those that I love hearing everybody's stories and making these connections. So thank you for joining today. Michelle, would you like to share a little bit about yourself and your story?
You bet. So I'm Michelle Lucero, a Colorado native. How many things can I say about myself without giving the talk away? So my day job is I work for Children's Hospital and one of the executives that is blessed to work here. And then I've also got a consulting business. I do a lot of public speaking. With me, Idle Hands are the Devil's Workshop. And that's a little bit about what I'm going to talk about. Not about idle hands, but about urgency and how there's, many times there's a type of person who we're going on 100 miles an hour, and that's just kind of our speed. And when folks tell us to slow down, patience is a virtue, we kind of don't know that. We don't understand that. And so this is helping, I think, helping the people who live like that feel a little normal, and helping those who have to live with crazy people like us kind of figure out how to do that. So super excited. And as you said, Kelli is amazing. Thank you for having us. And I'll just say to the audience, if you guys have not bought your tickets, go buy them now, because this group of women and the ones that are not on today are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And I love the urgency. I've always, I like go, 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 go. That's like or been my coping mechanism, I guess I could say. But it really, truly, like my brain just goes, and oftentimes on here, my brain goes faster than my mouth can speak. And that's why I always say it's not about perfection, it's about just getting the information out.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it.
Mary, I'm coming over to you. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me see if I get closer to my microphone, if that helps. But Mary, if you want to share a little bit about yourself and your story.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having us, Kelly. Yes, I'm sorry about my technical issues. I know it's causing feedback and all the rest. So I've been a fashion designer for 30 years, and I've always had really close connection to my customers. And I got to see all the places in life where women get stuck, and my passion for helping women to get unstuck and stay unstuck and get out the door as the best version of themselves every morning overtook my passion for design. So I got into coaching and I developed a very simple system to help women get out the door feeling amazing every day. So that's why I wanted to do TED. I wanted to do the TEDx, and I wanted to do the one in Denver because I'm going to be there with my mastermind group, and it was a women's event, and I was like, this is all just so perfect. So it was something that I hadn't planned on doing, and I just ended up in my mastermind group with somebody who did it last year, and we got talking, and everything just fell into place. So I'm really excited.
Amazing. And Mary, can you tell the audience where you're from?
So I'm in Ireland.
So she is our farthest speaker for the year. So hopefully you're coming in early so that you can adjust to the time difference.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be there on Thursday, so that should be fine.
Nice. Well, I know that each one of you have a story behind just even what you're talking about on stage. And I know personally, so I have tried this is my third year, trying to get on the TEDx stage, but also I have volunteered with Cherry Creek Women specifically, which has been really, really amazing getting to know Daphne and Michael and the whole team. And I really truly believe that this is a community. Like once you're part of this community, it is your family. And that's what I love about this stage so much is that I don't know. I mean, of course, I've not been on any of the other ones, but I don't know necessarily if the community is something that all the other TEDx do. And so I am just curious, like, why or have you been on any other TEDx stages and why did you want to choose this one? Or was it just kind of, I don't know, random that you picked Cherry Creek Women? And whoever wants to start. Yeah, Lisa.
I'll start. I picked Cherry Creek Women because I'm a Colorado native. So the convenience is I don't live in Denver, but it's close enough. So the location for one, two, Colorado is kind of a one of several states that has become sort of a hub of drug trafficking. And so because of our interstate system and our location and proximity to quick access to other areas where drug trafficking is coming into our country or going out of our country. And so Colorado has a unique problem and ability to solution, I believe, because my talk is really about engaging the family system in the process of recovery and utilizing them as a resource of change, which is for most families free or very accessible, depending on their ability to engage with other partners, as opposed to huge things like policy changes, insurance policy changes, like all the kind of big things that we think about when we think about substance use. and addressing the issue. The other reason is clearly it's Cherry Creek Women. And I am in a field that is very male dominated. And so I feel like the support of the women in this group and this stage is really going to help elevate my message to, to the guys out there who maybe don't let me into their circles all the time.
Yeah, I love that. So I actually have a woman who has been helping me that has been navigating the recovery system and just the system in general in Colorado. And so BCC Evolution, my nonprofit, we've really been doing a lot more work in the recovery space as far as connecting with recovery centers, getting out with those who experience homelessness, getting people connected that want the help and support, needing to get insurance, all those things, right? There's so many aspects of recovery, whether it's substance use or another type of recovery that you're going through. And it's such a, I didn't realize how challenging that space can be.
Yeah, it can be. And, it's changing. I mean, brains, we learn about brains all the time. And it is probably the most untapped, area of disorder. So the change that's required from the treatment industry, the recovery industry, the substance use industry, the insurance industry, all the industries that are associated, it really requires people to be flexible and pivoting all the time. And it's not always comfortable because we get complacent and tired in this space. So yeah, I'm super excited to be able to spread my message on this stage.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know we'll have to have you back and talk more about that too. But definitely I love that you also shared, I mean, you are in a male dominated industry for the most part, right? There are a lot more women stepping into it. And I do hope that with your message on the TEDx stage, it will be loud and heard and it's going to be amazing. So yay. Michelle, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I will. I have always wanted, so my day job is a little different to what I think, and it has built everything that I've done in my life's journey, whether it's career wise, giving back to the community, mentoring, is all kind of led to a path of leadership, and especially of leadership and empowering women. I do work internationally in Papua New Guinea. I'll talk a little bit about that in my talk. And so I've always looked at, when am I going to have an idea to share, right? An idea worth sharing. So that tagline there. And this year, a good friend recommended me for TED. So why TEDxCherry Creek? She said, I think you have an idea. I think you finally have an idea to share. And so, it was one of those where it was the encouragement of someone else. And as I looked into the Cherry Creek TEDx, as you said it before, the support and the process that Daphna and Michael take you through. And I had heard about that before I applied. And I thought, this is perfect. This is a perfect entry point. It truly is a platform to give that idea that could hopefully help someone else, right? And so, in the world of leadership and empowerment, there's all kinds of different folks. And so, this is a way to put another spin on other things that motivate folks. So that's why Cherry Creek. And it was, kind of a blessing that was chosen. And what a great group, like you said. And I think the excitement is to see how we're similar but different, right? And there's some themes that come through and you learn from each other. I think at our last session, you probably saw me, I was in tears, which is one, and I won't say who, because it was one of those that whether it hit me at the right time or hit me with the message. And I think that's what we want to portray, right? I think one of the first times Lisa spoke, I think I went up to her right afterwards and said, this is my life, right? This is XYZ. And, I could do it with each person. When Mary, the last time I'm like, that's me. And people in the room are going, that's you, Michelle. So it's these messages that resonate, and I'll stop because everyone has to go see it. But even Kelly, what you were doing, and I'm holding my hands like this so people don't know what you were doing, but I am so in love with each person's message. And so, the fact that, and I think it's because of that community. I think it was, we had a message, and then through this process, it's been elevated and it's grown and it's blossomed, and there's a bunch of butterflies that are going to come out. So,
yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like part of the journey is, and of course, none of us knew what the process was going to be before we stepped in. And now we're like, oh, well, this is how it works. So it has been really interesting, and being able to expand us beyond. I know what I'm talking about is like something that I have never talked about really that much in the past. And so it's really been expansive for me, just trying to articulate and put it together, which I think is really cool. And like you said, I know personally, I've been able to kind of take little pieces, listening to each woman formulate their talk. And that's what it's all about. It's not like we write it all out and then we're like, this is what we're delivering. No, it's like this whole process. So Mary, I'll let you jump in too.
Okay, I feel like I jumped the gun and answered your question the last time. But yeah, so the whole process that like you all said, the whole process that Daphne and Michael have taken us through has been amazing. I've never stood on a stage in my life. I am absolutely terrified. You guys, there's going to be somebody holding that bucket before I go on there, because it's one of the scariest things that I've ever done. And I probably wouldn't have done it, only a friend of mine was applying as well. And I'd seen Michael do like a guest appearance in somebody's group. And I was like, I really like this guy. They sounded so down to earth. And I'd been told about their process. And I was like, if I'm ever going to do it, this would be the perfect opportunity. So yeah, and it has been amazing. And like you guys were saying, it's like taking us through that process and reassuring us. And I was in my car on Saturday practicing my talk. I could not get the words out while I was driving to visit my parents. I was driving down the road. I was going, I can't do this. I just can't do this. And then on the way back, I had a little bit of a breakthrough. And then we got on the call, and Daphne had been saying, don't you worry, like, we're going to have the audience ready for you. And I was like, I actually feel like I can do it now. So it was that whole support and knowing how it all works. I just think it's amazing. I think it's the scariest thing that I've ever done, but I'm actually really excited about it as well. So yeah, really excited.
Can I add something?
Yeah, of course.
I believe this has been, I've spoke at many things, presented at conferences, and been asked to be a keynote speaker. I also, in a past life, was a professional musician at a high level. So I have prepared to audition at major symphonies. And this is the hardest thing I've ever prepared for in my life. I don't know. Well, I think it's a culmination of the time constraints. Like, you can't just go off on every tangent of all the things that need to be said. But it is really just aligning the message that needs to be heard today, and just finding that bullseye of being able to say it in such a constrained period of time, as well as making it look super casual and off the cuff. It's like hard. So it's just really been a remarkable process for me, even in aligning the work that I do, giving myself confidence in that, believing in my message even more, and being able to precisely state exactly what I believe and what I do for people.
And one of the things, Kelly, what I loved is one of the other members of the team that's helping is Nicole. And she said it, and I think Daphne has said it, the words that come out of our mouth on the 5th are the words that are meant to be there, right? So we might have forgotten X or Y and Z, but that has given me comfort in the prep component of it, that, I'm not memorizing this. It's got to be in the moment. All the things Lisa said, and make it conversational and get your point across. And then, as same with you, Mary, I'll be driving going, okay, these 3 points and these 2 points. And then I just say, what's meant to be is meant to be. What's meant to come out of our mouths is going to come out. And so, that's going to be kind of the exciting thing is, I just hope it's not like in Pitch Perfect, where the girl just throws up all over the place, but, it'll actually be words that come out. And I think it will be, they'll be beautiful words. But this is tough. That time constraint is real.
Definitely, for sure. And so we're going to go to a quick sponsored break. But once we come back, let's talk a little bit more about the logistics of TED, because sometimes, well, I don't know if anybody really knows what it means. So we'll talk about that a little bit once we get back from this quick sponsored break.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kimberly L. Wilson, also known as Dr. Burnout. You can catch me on Leadership Beyond Burnout on E360 TV on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Vitality Network, where we focus on emerging women leaders and women leaders.
Also, this episode is brought to you by Dusty DeGroff at Edward Jones in Denver, Colorado. You can either scan this QR code or you can go to his website right here. So if you want an advisor who put you first, reach out to Dusty. Take all these down and bring my ladies back up. All right. Some background things that have to happen. So if you're just joining us now, thank you so much for joining. We are all chatting about the upcoming Cherry Creek Women's TEDx TEDx speaking event that is happening this Sunday, November 5th in Denver, Colorado. Myself and all these beautiful women are going to be on the stage that day. So we were kind of talking about before we went to the sponsored break about kind of the logistics of TEDx. And a lot of people don't fully understand until you're like in it, doing it, what it means to be on the stage. I know it's super cool to go to YouTube and you're like, oh, I'm going to go watch a TEDx and like this speaker's great and this speaker's great. And all the time they're like, oh, you should watch this or oh, you should watch that. But knowing the backside of what has to come out during that time. And like Mary shared earlier, this is our first time stepping on stage, which is incredible. She's coming from Ireland, and I think that's so cool. And being able to have her in this space, myself, I have been in this theater for the last 2 years. I actually got to help backstage last year. So I ran up and down the stairs, getting the speakers to bring them to stage. And every single one of them, I watched them back there taking their breaths. They're like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can step on that stage. And what I think I learned the most, because I still had to gain my confidence. I still had to know that I could potentially step on that stage one day. But what I learned was that we're all the same, right? We all have these things that come up. We all have these fears that we might be experiencing. But once you step on that stage, like Michelle just said, and Daphna's been saying to us, whatever is meant to come out at that moment will. And I know that has been challenging for some of us as we go through this process. But does anybody want to talk about kind of, I mean, we don't want to give away all of the secrets, but a little bit of the background or I guess secrets of TED and what it means to be on stage.
I'll jump in there, Kelly. And, you know, Mary, you're a goddess, because I don't know that I could have jumped on a TEDx stage my very first time on stage. You were like the queen, because I'm a bit like Lisa. I'm blessed to be called to do keynotes, to do, you know, different talks, to do and so, but you get this as kind of as much time as you need. But I remember the first time I was on stage, and it was not the round red circle. And so, you know, you are just a badass. So the backstory here, I won't give all of it, but what I remember the first day, and you guys all remember, we had to do certain prompts. I won't tell you what the prompts were. And then we had to give the speech. I'm like, what? And so that was, and the process that Daphne and Michael have developed, and I'm a lawyer by training, and I said, girlfriend, you better go copyright this right now. And so it's practice, and practice is important. It's everything from that to being vulnerable, to being, we have a WhatsApp group, which is part of this, which everyone kind of, when you have those moments, you push it out to the group. It's a lot of practice. I think that that's the biggest thing, is that, and you don't get grace to, I mean, you get a lot of grace. I take that back. But each time we're together, we're practicing again. And whether you think you're ready or not, the minute they say, Lisa, get on up there, tell us your time. You can take those breaths. Like Kelly said, you take those breaths. We do breathing exercises. It's super cool. But then there it is. Right. And we stand. I mean, I don't want to give all the secrets, but it's, I'll stop there so that my fellow presenters can give more insight. But there is method to it that is, I think we're going to find on the 5th, it really works.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think the process of bringing clarity to what you think your talk is it's humbling, it's challenging, and it's so powerful to the work that you might be doing outside of the TED stage. And I mean, I've got like 15 other talks, right, that are spinning in my head because there's a time limit, and there's a clarity that really has to be received by or, you know, that you hope to be received by the audience. The other part of that is, well, I mean, I want to start actually leading up. The application process for TEDx is no joke. I hear all the time people going, oh yeah, I want to talk on TED. And I'm like, go for it, because that application process is so hard. And I will be the first one to say that I had several no's from other TEDs in my process of applying for TED. And I'm thankful for the team at Cherry Creek Women for believing in my message and having it, I think the stars align that it fits with the group of women that we have and the need of today. But that alone, it is not an I mean, you don't have clarity at the beginning of that. I thought I did, but the clarity that develops over the, I guess maybe 3-month process that we've been in this is unbelievable. Like I said, unlike anything else that I have ever prepared for. And to include like having children, right? Like you have 9 months to do that. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, here it is. But I mean, just, it's really remarkable and powerful. And I'm just honored to be able to stand on that dot on Sunday. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good thing to let people know too, is, I mean, the first year I applied, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to throw it in. We'll see, you know, like I speak on stages. Like I, you know, have been blessed to be able to stand on several stages. I train. And so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to throw it in because one of my friends did it the year before. Why not? It was horrible. The second year, I did a lot better the next year. I got really, really close to get in, but the message wasn't really clear and concise. And so this last year, I really took Michael and Daphne up on, they do training. So if you volunteer for TEDxCherry Creek Women, they actually give you extra training throughout the year if you potentially want to become a TEDx speaker, which is amazing. So I took him up on that resource, and then I gave Michael several different titles, and of course he picks the one that, like, I literally have no idea what I'm talking about, and I'm like, okay, well, here we are, here we go, we're going to expand everything that I do, because I talk about mental health, I talk about suicide prevention, like that's what I do in my nonprofit. And this year I'm talking about nonprofits and AI technology. And I'm like, okay, well, how is this formulating? And like both of you just said, is like, at the beginning, I had no idea. Like literally, like I had an idea, but I had no idea how it was going to fall into place. And then just over the last week or so, like since our last training, it's like really started coming together. And that's what they said, is just keep going, like just keep practicing and it will fall together. And I'm like, yes, it will fall together on Sunday too. So yeah, it's definitely one of those processes that you don't realize is going to happen.
Can I jump in before Mary does real quick?
Yes.
One thing, and I totally forgot about the one piece of the process. We had 40 seconds to put a video in, and not 41, not 40.5, 40 seconds to get your message across. So like like you guys both said, and I think I blocked that out until just now. And I was like, oh crap. And I'm actually, as soon as we're done, I'm going to go back and listen to that. I haven't listened to it since. I'm going to go back and listen to it because, anyway, go ahead, Mary. I knew you were going to say, but I was like 40 seconds.
Yeah, it's like TikTok. You have to get it in really fast.
One of the things that that Daphne said in our very first meeting kept me going, and she said, every single one of you at some stage in this process is going to go, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm here. I'm still saying that. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm here. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually rewrote my first book since I was accepted to do this TEDx, because I was like, I don't know which bit, like Michelle said, what's the bullseye here, and I had to rewrite the book that I've already written 4 years ago, but I had to rewrite it. I leveled up the whole book. Michael is actually publishing the book. So this is just mind-blowing what's come out of this. But I had to rewrite that book to get the clarity that I needed to boil this down to 8 minutes. And it was just mind-blowing. But for me as well, that being accepted, it was the validation that gave me around my message and what it was that I wanted to do for people. That's been huge. That has been huge. That's probably one of the biggest wins for me in all this. It's like, no, I do have something, it's like, and when your confidence, and we're all going to drop our confidence somewhere in life when there's something else going on. But that is the bit that I can hold on to, and I can go, no, other people have believed in this, they've got behind me, they've said that it's worth putting it out there. So that has been huge for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. And congratulations on the book. That's awesome. I mean, level, right? Keep going. I think that it's just incredible, one, to be on stage with amazing women, but two, being able to experience this. This is actually, we have, I think, the most speakers that they've had in the past. So yeah, we have 18 total speakers and then 2 entertainment. And like Michelle said, go get your tickets, or if you're in Colorado, in the Denver, Colorado area, make sure you go grab your tickets because they are running out really quickly. And every single year they sell out. It's not one of those events that doesn't get sold out. I don't even know how many's left, but I know that they go really fast. So grab your tickets because you can be in the audience. Like the coolest part about this, and a lot of people don't know, I didn't know, that you can actually be an audience member in TED, we're not speaking to you necessarily. It's not like how Lisa, Michelle, and myself standing on stages giving presentations. We're talking to the camera. The whole point is to have it recorded to go into TED, and then they launch it on YouTube. And that's when everybody can start sharing it. So one of the biggest things, and I don't know if you guys have been experiencing this also, but as you post it, if you've been posting it on social media that you got selected and maybe talking about your speech, maybe not, but have you noticed people reaching out and being like, oh my gosh, let me know once the recording's up and I'll help you spread it? Nice. Yeah. I think that's important. Like, it's building that community, right? And and anybody that watches this, you better spread all of these. We'll let you know. I will do a show and let you know when they're actually all live. But I would love to open it up. We have about 10 minutes. So I'd love to open it up to any one of you that has something else that you want to share, or maybe something in addition to the TEDx stage. It doesn't even have to be about that, but feel free if anybody wants to chime in.
I'll chime in.
Yeah.
I work in the substance use area, and clearly over the weekend there was a loss of a famous person who has publicly talked about his struggle with substance use disorder. And I think it's apropos that I'm talking about what I'm going to talk about this weekend. Because one of the things that he has very publicly in his book and in many interviews talked about is the continual challenge of people who struggle with substance use. There's no bookends to this disorder. And, it doesn't start on one day and it doesn't end on another day. There's a gradual lead up, and for many people, there's a gradual recovery, and for some people there isn't. So it's a very real problem. And my particular talk is really about empowering families to be a part of the recovery process. And so I think it's really important for the messages from people who have struggled, whether present or not here anymore, about the importance of those who connected with them when they were struggling, and how alone they felt at times when they were struggling as well, because it's really hard to be with people who use drugs and alcohol. They aren't always easy. And so I'm hoping that, if you're feeling that loss, as many people in our culture are, because that particular actor was very present in our, well, at least in my growing up time, and even my kids. It's funny because those reruns they just keep going, and touching people that, this substance use addiction does not have, there's not an application process. No one is immune from being taken by this disorder. And so every single family knows somebody close that is dealing with this. And, I'm hoping that message of connecting to the people who are hurting is heard. Unfortunately, we need to keep hearing it, but hopefully, that our recent loss kind of helps us remember, like, reach out, because it could be the last thing that somebody does hear from you or see from you or feel from you.
Yeah. And you can say who it is if you wanted to.
Right, yeah. So Matthew Perry passed away this past weekend, and the details around his death are not public. However, we know that he publicly struggled with substance use disorder. He has a book. He's done many interviews, and I think some of the statistics are out there about how many treatment centers he went to, how many times he went to detox, and just how many recovery meetings he attended. So yeah.
Yeah. I think I mean, as you like, whether it's the TEDx talk or just life in general, right? Like a lot of times when we're going towards something big and then another big thing happens, you have one of those light bulb moments of, oh my gosh, like this is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's so needed, just the conversation. I think actually all the women that we have on stage this year, like every single one of these conversations need to be had. And we do have some that are not um on the heavy side. We have some that are on the heavy side, right? So we have a whole different dynamic. But yeah, I have found myself even throughout this process that I'm like, man, this is like what I'm going through right now, right? Like with my nonprofit and what I'm talking about and all of those things. And I'm like in the thick of it right now. And I'm able to share this message with the world, which I think is really incredible, even though it's not exactly what I always talk about. So,
You know, the other thing I would add, Kelly, and thank you, Lisa, for sharing that. Thank you. Thank you. I just would want to talk for a minute to what you had mentioned before to people who say, geez, I want to do one of those. I've always wanted to do one of those talks, right? Or I want to get on the stage. And the piece, and I'm sorry, you might hear a helicopter. I'm sitting here at the hospital. But the thing I would say to wannabe TED talkers is a couple things. First, it's about the message. It's not about you. It is so about the message. And that's the idea we're sharing. And and it's different. It's very different. And so and it might be one of those things that that friends come and say, geez, you need to tell people this. Gosh, that is something. It's you've got something there, Mary. To tell other people how to do X, Y, and Z, or Lisa or Kelly. It's that one thing that resonates that, geez, if others knew this, right? So as those kind of pieces come together, and it's, Lisa said this as well. And then just, on the stage component, I'm going to say it again, Mary, you're a goddess, because it's getting on the TEDx stage. I know for me, this is so different, but at the same time, I've got great comfort in that I've been on a stage before, right? This is like the biggest stages, but we've been on one before. So try as best you can to, even if it's your furry family, do something to them, right? As far as have a speech with them or a talk with them. And so, it's so this is doable. It's not about you. It's about the topic. And it's about truly having that idea, and then kind of practice it, or take a class, loads of kind of tutorials too online if you really want, look into them. So I would encourage folks who think they've got an idea worth sharing, share it.
yeah. And yes, definitely. And TEDxCherry Creek Women is not the only stage. There's lots and lots of TEDx all across the world. So, but Mary, did you want to chime in also?
Yeah, just what Michelle was saying there. And as somebody who's never stood on a stage, what was I thinking? But for anybody who does have that idea that they want to share with people, it's like you can cross every mountain, whatever it takes to get there and get that idea out into the world. If it is something that you genuinely think other people can benefit from, just do it. Just do it. It's like, will I actually step on that stage? It might take all other 17 of you shoving me from behind, but it's yeah, I think anybody who wants to do it, just do it. Just do it.
Absolutely. And I promise you'll be good once you get there. You'll be good. So you'll get we'll have lots more time to even step onto the stage before we have to actually step on the stage. So I think you'll be good. But I love that we all got a chance to come together and really just share what we're talking about, but then also a little bit of background on you, why people should watch your TEDx when it comes out and it's live and on video. But also being able to come, if you happen to be in Denver, I wanted to get so here's the link down there. If you want to grab your tickets to come see all these incredible women in person, we may have moments that we stand on stage and we puke. Guess what? That'll be edited out and it won't ever make it to YouTube. So, but if you're in the audience, you get to see that part. If you're not in the audience, you'll never see that part. So, that's one perk of coming on and being in person at Denver, watching all of the women on stage. But also you just get to share in this experience. And again, this community, once you become a part of it, you really truly are part of a family. And honestly, I will probably forever be a volunteer with TEDxCherry Creek Women because they have been an integral part of my life. And I've met so many incredible other women and men in Colorado being a volunteer. So if you are able to volunteer, you can do that too. If you want to stand on stage, again, we gave you a few secrets. We'll probably give you a couple more on Wednesday when I have a couple more speakers on that too. But ladies, if you would like to just share anything else before we are finished today.
I have one last thing. I was able to go to a TEDx event a few weeks ago, a live one. And I sort of went for my own, just like to be in the audience and have that experience. And it was so amazing. It was, I was expecting it to be like a performance, and it wasn't. I felt like I was a part of helping those people on stage succeed. And you could see it with the rest of the audience members, that just true belief in these people that were on stage and what they were saying, regardless of whether you had an invested interest in their topic. I found every one of them fascinating. And it was a whole day event, meeting people, and there was food and things and entertainment. And if you have never been to an event, this Sunday is a great one to come to, because I imagine it's going to be exactly the same. It really was not at all what I thought was going to be like.
Yeah, it is. It's a full day event. So you get the doors open at 9 a.m. Speaking starts at 10. Lunch is about 12 to 1:30, I think. The second session starts at 1:30 and we go till about, I want to say it's like 3:30-ish, 3:34. So yeah, it's a full day event. It's like going to the theater times 10. But definitely if you get your tickets, when you get your tickets, make sure you make a day of it. I mean, of course, you want to see your favorite speaker, but the whole point is that you share this experience with all of us that are going to be on stage, because we have all been going through the same process. We all have incredible ideas that we are sharing on that stage, and you'll get to be able to see the backside that gets cut out of YouTube. So why not? But here's a link one more time. Ladies, I so appreciate you being a guest on the show today. And maybe I'll have you come back after to share a little bit how your experience went.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
We'll see everyone Friday or whenever soon. We'll see everyone soon.
Yeah, we get extra
Safe
stuff.
Bye.
All right, y'all, that was another amazing episode of Make Mental Health Matter. Again, on Mondays, I bring guests who are either advocates in the mental health space, professionals, or those with lived experience. I also go live on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. This coming Wednesday, I have a couple more of the speakers from the TEDx stage on that show sharing their secrets. So you have to jump on to be able to hear their stories and why they chose this specific stage. And I don't know. We'll see what we talk about in that one. But I am just so honored to have this platform to be able to share with all of you this experience, because who knows, maybe you want to be a TEDx speaker someday, and this is the information that you need right now to be able to do that. Just like Mary, you can stand on stage for the very first time as a TEDx speaker. And I just have to shout out TEDxCherry Creek Women for the incredible job that they do. Daphna and Michael run it, and there are so many other incredible women that help with there's so many people really that help with the logistics of the day. So really, truly make it a full day. If you're going to be joining us, make it a full day so that you can support all the women that are going to be on stage. Again, one more time, here is the link to go grab your tickets. Of course, if you only show up for the first half or only show up for the second half, like, we're not going to get mad at you, but you probably want to stick around to be able to support everybody, because this is a huge accomplishment for those of us that are able to be on that stage, and we are here to support each other. So no matter what you do, make sure that you join me back this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time for part 2 of TEDx Women Cherry Creek, and I will see you then. Bye, y'all.